1,000 laughs over a weekend as well. Vail Comedy Festival. Pet an alpaca or hike a trail. Memorial Day weekend.
Hey everybody, we're back with another episode of Live from Vail Comedy Festival. We got Britt Miggs joining us from, I assume, New York City. Are you in New York City?
Yes.
Awesome. Britt was a standout at the Vail Comedy Festival. We're going to chat with her for a little bit, and you'll get some more insights into what happens at Vail Comedy Festival every Memorial Day weekend. Everybody, VailComedyFestival.com. Check it out. Britt, let's start with this. How did you first hear about Vail Comedy Festival?
That is a great question. I am kind of on the lookout for festivals and stuff like that to submit to, because I think it's really fun getting to, go around the country and, do comedy. So there is actually a link that I always check that kind of updates all of the comedy festivals going around the country.
Nice. And we were on there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know the name of the service or link or whatever?
Get it for you right now.
Check it right now. Just one more reminder. It's every Memorial Day weekend. Here we go. We're going to find out.
The Rightus Pod. And someone, I'm like, I can put it in the chat.
Okay.
There it is. And I'm like,
there it is.
All the festivals are always updated. So that's kind of how I check out what fests are on there and see which ones I'd be interested in submitting to based on location and if I know friends are submitting and stuff like that.
Nice. That's awesome. So thereitispod.com, ThereItispod.com, has a list of a bunch of festivals. Check them all out, but definitely check out Vail Comedy Festival. So did you
how to say it and not the way I said it. Incredible.
All good. It works, it works.
Yeah.
Phonetically accurate.
Yeah.
So once you found out about it, we were a second year festival. Did you ask around at all about Vail Comedy Festival? Did you check in, or were you just like, I love Vail, or I love Colorado. This is a slam dunk.
Yeah, I was honestly like, I love Colorado as a state. I have family out there, so it was kind of perfect for me. And I was like, that sounds like a blast. Summer in Colorado. Let's do it.
Nice. Awesome. Cool. So how did you get out to Vail Comedy Festival all the way from New York City?
I flew and then flew into Denver where my sister lives. And then she and I drove up to Vail from there.
That's awesome. Nice to have a family connection. That's a good reason. If you got family in Colorado, what a fun place to visit for comedians. And then, so then you get to the festival on Friday, first day of the festival, Memorial Day weekend. What did you do first when you got to Vail?
What did I do first? I think I went to, first I was walking around the village, which like I've been to when it's snowing, when I've been there. I'm a snowboarder, so I love coming out to Colorado in the winter. So I'd never seen it in the summer. It absolutely looks like a European village. You feel like you're not in America. It's awesome. And then I think I went to one of the first shows, which I'm trying to remember now, like which one it was.
It's been a while. So those who are tuning in, it could be 2026 when you're watching this.
Sure.
We're filming this about 2 months after the festival. So Britt's probably been on 150 shows since then, been all over the place. It is hard to remember.
But it was great. And I kind of just started mingling with the other comics, which is like the best part of a festival is making new friends and hanging out with people. And from there, I think I just, my phone is playing music. Sorry. I think I just honestly like went and hung out. I think I maybe grabbed a bite to eat with some other comics and then just stayed for all the shows all night.
Nice. Awesome. Were there any comics you were especially excited to run into that you had seen on the lineup ahead of time?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm like, so Bailey Pope is someone that I know from back home in Brooklyn. And so I was so excited to be with her. This is actually our second festival together, which was kind of fun.
Cool.
Carmen Lagala, also from New York. Love her. Matt Benjamin was someone who I hadn't met back in New York, but met in Vail. Same with Peter Wong, and like just getting to kind of make connections that weirdly I didn't meet them in New York, but I met them in Vail, but like we're New York comics. Yeah.
Nice. And have you continued that relationship now that you're back in New York City?
Yes, we've seen each other and, booking each other on each other's shows and stuff like that. It's fun.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right. Tell me about one of the spots you did at the festival. Did anything memorable stick out? One of the shows?
Yes. I think it was an afternoon show. It was at the hotel venue.
Okay, the wide one. It was Frost at Sebastian, or do you mean
Nope.
the one that
Had
Sarah's
like a little outdoor area?
Yeah, Sarah's Lounge at Christiania
Sarah's
Hotel.
Lounge. That was a really fun one. I think it was just a really good room, really good energy, great crowd. Yeah, that was a super fun one. And I loved getting to do a podcast spot. I loved getting to hang with Hippie Not Hippie.
Let's talk about that. Hippie Not Hippie Pod filmed
Yeah.
4 live tapings of their podcast, and you can check them out on YouTube. You can pause this right now and go check them out. Hippie Not Hippie Pod, AJ Finney and Zach Moss. Who were you paired with? Do you remember?
I was with Dustin. I was with Dustin Chafin.
Dustin Chafin, a festival headliner. What a great episode.
Oh, it was so much fun. I just really loved, getting to shoot the shit with fellow comics and find out who was a hippie, and it was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Did you have any whiskey at 10th Mountain?
I did. I'm really not much of a drinker, but I had to try it while I was there, and it was very delicious.
All right. Well, thank you for 10th Mountain for hosting us. Yes. If anybody is visiting Vail, check out 10th Mountain. It's right by the covered bridge, right as you enter the town. Delicious whiskey. I'm also not a big whiskey guy, but everybody tells me it's great whiskey. So check that out. That's fun. And how about kind of late night stuff? What were you doing after shows, etc.?
Yeah, we were hanging out, and I'm like already, of course, forgetting the restaurant bar that we were hanging out at. We ordered pizza.
Downstairs kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, the George.
The George. Oh, that was so fun. I ended up back there, I think 2 nights in a row, and it was just like, again, so fun to kind of ride the high of being at all these shows and like listening to comedy, and then getting to just hang out and talk shop with other comics and eat pizza and, hang out. That's
awesome. All right. So you've been to a lot of festivals. You're a pretty seasoned comedian, been on a lot of shows, run a lot of shows. What are some of your favorite things about going to a comedy festival? Why would a comic want to go to a comedy festival?
Yeah, honestly, I think like absolutely top number one, like more than performing or anything, it is really the connections you make with other comics. It is like, it feels like summer camp for comics, really. I mean, no matter what season you go, it feels like you're going to some kind of sleepaway camp with your, peers. And now I have friends in so many different states, and that's kind of the beauty of it. It's like, okay, now if I go to Atlanta, I know Atlanta comics. If I go to San Fran, if I go to Denver, wherever it is, like you feel like you have those connections, so you can reach out for spots. Not only that, but like have someone to hang with when you go to another city. I think it's so fun.
Right. Now it hasn't even been 2 months yet. It's been like six weeks. Do you have any specific examples of that happening already in these 6 weeks?
Well, I met Salma Zaki, who I love. And she's amazing. And she's a Denver comic who is moving to New York. And so we've been talking, and I'm like, these are the mics and shows and stuff like that. And we're definitely going to hang when she comes here. And I definitely want to have her on my show. So it's like, it's very cool to forge those friendships.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for turning those friendships into actual spots and comedy wins for everybody. So what would be number 2 or from 2 to 10 about going to a festival other than the networking?
Yes. Then I would say it is so good to just like get out of your own city and see how your material does in front of different audiences, what jokes hit harder, in a different state or whatever it is. And even just performing for other people to like get your name out there, having fans outside of your own city is so important. And, especially as like someone, not physically younger, but I'm like younger in my comedy journey. Like, it's cool to start to grow your fan base with people from other states.
That's awesome. I will say this, a little birdie told me, or I have heard this many times. I've done a lot of these tapings, and these are personal conversations specific to Britt Miggs. Several New York City comedians have told me, I didn't even know who Britt was, but she was so funny and so great.
Oh my
I'm so
God.
excited that that I got to connect with her and learn about her. And so some very nice things said about you.
That's so good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I feel the same way. I'm like, literally, I mean, Devontre and I talk like every day, like just so many people from all over that I feel like I didn't know before, but now have become part of my, community.
That's awesome. Devontre Coleman, by the way, everybody check him out. San Francisco-based comedian, super funny. You can find info about him at VailComedyFestival.com, and it's every Memorial Day weekend, Britt. Every Memorial Day weekend.
Every Memorial Day weekend.
You can apply starting November 1st if you're a comedian. So tell all your friends, Britt, your funny friends, that is. And and if you want tickets or passes, we sell 3-day passes and are available starting January 1st every year. Okay, so we got networking, we got kind of like exposure of yourself, kind of a little bit of self-promotion, which is good, a good thing about a festival. Anything, I think you already previously alluded to going to a new place that's beautiful and fun. You're a fan of it.
I was gonna say, it's like, as a comic, I don't know if other comics feel this, but sometimes we can feel so guilty taking a vacation because it's like, we should be working or something like that. And this is the perfect combination. It's a working vacation. You are getting reps in, you're, doing all of this amazing stuff for your career. And you just happen to be, in a beautiful place, Colorado. I took a hike, I got to try new restaurants and food and stuff like that. So it's like you're on vacation, but you're also getting stuff done.
Nice. Can you tell us anything about your hike? Did you see anything cool, or was it hot? Was it cold? Any tips for people who come out?
Yeah, I was closer to Silverthorne, the hike that I took. And I did a solo hike. I just was like, I want to get out in nature, put on my headphones and just kind of got into it. And it was just so beautiful. I mean, saw some like little mini waterfalls and fresh springs and stuff. And I mean, you really can't beat Colorado wildlife. It is so, so beautiful. Saw a bunch of birds. I'm like, I loved it. And it was, especially being in New York City, which of course we have parks and stuff, but like it is so good for your brain to see mountains and trees and wildlife and stuff like that.
Yeah. You weren't in Brooklyn anymore once you got out into those trails. Cool. Very cool. Tell me something that maybe you don't like about festivals, or something that you feel like, or maybe a little more hypothetical, a little vaguer. Like if you went to a festival and something happened that you'd be a little disappointed in, or maybe you've heard a story secondhand about a negative experience at a comedy festival, something that people should look out for.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I cannot say much bad. I mean, like there's almost no negative to it aside from like the money, like you got to pay to get out there and stuff. But like, that's with anything, any vacation you take. But you never know in other cities if there's going to be like hecklers or people who are talking during a set or something. Like I'm just trying to think of just generally negatives about comedy, like, but that can happen really anywhere. So I'm like, I don't know, not much negative about going to a festival. And as an audience member, I'm like, really no negative. You're getting to see so many different comics from around the country in one location. How do you beat that?
How far apart would you say the venues are at Vail Comedy Festival?
Oh, that was the best part. I mean, it was like walking distance. You just walk through this, again, gorgeous. You're like, am I in Austria? Like you walk through this gorgeous village and you're there on foot in like 5 minutes, maybe less.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, the reason I brought that up was I'd say that's a negative for me. I've been to festivals where the venues are like very far apart, and there's like a bunch of negatives there. Like it takes time to get between them. It's confusing. You've never been to this city, and now I got to go to this place, and I went to the wrong bar, and you're spending a ton of money on cabs or lifts or whatever, and you got to budget all the time. You could pretty much at the Vail Comedy Festival, something we pride ourselves on is pretty much roll out of bed and stumble to a festival, to a venue, watch a show, and then stumble to the next venue, maybe stop for a delicious bite to eat on the way. And
can't beat that location. You really can't. You're right. I have been to other festivals, and you have to, like, take a Uber or something, and like that is not the case here.
The logistics are pretty simple once you get there. It's not totally easy to get to Vail, but there's a major airport in Denver, and it's 100 miles away, and we try to help comics get from Denver to Vail. In fact, this year everybody who asked for a ride got one for free, so I was lucky in 2023. Cool. Well, what would you tell a prospective applicant? Why would you tell them to apply to the Vail Comedy Festival in the future?
I would say you are going to make some, forever friends. You are going to grow your network, and you're going to get to perform and do it all in a really, really beautiful, unique location. And you're just going to have a blast. You're going to have a great weekend.
Nice. If you were to come back in, let's say, 2 or 3 years, what's one thing that you would like to see that you didn't see this time? You can't hurt my feelings. It doesn't. It could be big. It could be, I don't know. Why wasn't the president of the United States at the festival?
I'm like, even bigger crowds, like more people.
Yeah.
Like let's get a crazy amount of people. Let's pack it out.
I love that. That's a show.
Outdoor, because the weather's just so gorgeous. Like maybe in Vail Village, somewhere in the outdoor, and just get like hundreds of people. I think that would be awesome.
Big stage. How would that? So let me ask you about that. Like, would it have to be a clean show? Do you think? Because there are a lot of kids wandering around. Like, how would you police that? What do you think?
I think I'm bad to ask this, because I'm like, hopefully there's not, like, ye be warned, like there's a comedy show going on. If you're stepping in here, you might hear a curse word, and that's kind of it. I think there's enough, like, they'll know that something's going on stage and see comedy show. And I think most parents are pretty good like that.
Nice. Cool. So if one of your friends gets in next year, can you remember any places to eat or drink that you'll recommend to them? And you can like describe the place, and I might be able to remember the name for you. Yes.
Well, first of all, at Frost, I had a delicious chicken sandwich.
The food was awesome there.
Yeah.
Frost is the hotel bar inside the Sebastian Hotel, which is a gorgeous property.
I loved that chicken sandwich. It was great.
I'm trying with fries or a salad?
I did fries.
Remember?
Yeah.
Fries? Okay.
And then I'm trying to think. I also got ice cream somewhere.
Was it downstairs?
Yes.
Okay. That's very likely it was. There are 3 places with Joe's in the name. There's a pizza place called Local Joe's. There's Loaded Joe's that is a coffee shop. And what you're thinking of is Famous Joe's Famous Deli, or Famous Joe's Deli, one of the two.
Okay.
Incredible ice cream. I go there every time I do a show up in Vail. Free samples. Doesn't matter if it's -10 degrees. So fun. Best place ever.
Yes, I definitely got ice cream that was delicious. Yeah. Oh, and then I had like a good pretzel as like a kind of a snack in between shows at. It was very like almost German, like very fit into the aesthetic.
Yeah, Blue Cow, maybe.
Maybe it would look like
at the Sonnenalp.
It looked like a brew house, kind of.
Was it small?
No,
it was big. I don't know that one. We'll have to. If you're a comic and you get into the festival, just go to every place and try and find this mystical, amazing pretzel.
It was good, and it felt very much like you were in Europe again.
Nice. Good theme there. All right. Well, we're about to wrap this up. People, I'm sure, are excited to check out your comedy. What's a good way for them to find you?
Yes, I am at Britt Miggs across all socials. That's at BRITTYMIGS. So that's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Yeah, I'm still on there hanging on for dear life. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And I have a show every other month at Union Hall in Brooklyn. If you're in New York, it's a great show. We do sketch and stand up. Really, really fun. Our next one's in September. We don't have our exact date yet, but just follow me for more.
What's that show called?
It is called Sunday Sauce. It's always on a Sunday, and we keep it at 5 p.m. so you can go home, get your stuff done before work the next day.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Britt, thanks so much for joining us. It's been another episode of Live from Vail Comedy Festival. I think this is the last one I'm taping, which I'm psyched about. Not going to edit them all. That's a headache. But Vail Comedy Festival is every Memorial Day weekend. Check out VailComedyFestival.com. If you're a comic, you can apply starting November 1st every year. And if you're looking for passes, they go on sale every January 1st. One more time, thank you so much, Britt. We're going to end this recording.